Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Hello and welcome to Fusion Mobile e-learning platform. I'm Jacob and to take you through economics. Today we are looking through the study session on the theory of income determination. We had earlier talked about the national income measurement, methods of calculating national income, the different concepts, the uses, the problems you can encounter, and the sorts. Now we are going to be having a look at the things, how to actually determine the equilibrium level of income. Now, first of all, we will have to take a look at the circular flow of income. When we started the study on national income and income determination, we said that income has to do with whatever that is earned or that a factor has at a particular period or over a particular period. It depends on how it is calculated. But now, when we talk about the circular flow of income, that's the first thing on the outline there. Circular flow of income. The circular flow of income, which is one, then okay, let's go through the outline. We have the factors that lead to changes in the circular flow of income: savings, in consumption, investment. Then we have equilibrium level of income, propensities to save, propensities to consume. Then we talk about the multiplier. Now, coming down to this place, we have, in an economy, we have two basic sectors. That's what we call the two sectors. At the minimum level or the classical level, we have two sectors: the production sector and the consuming sector. The consuming sector is made up of the households and the individuals, while the producing sector is made up of the production firms, the firms. Now, when households, the circular flow of income describes how households render factors of production to firms, and how the inputs that are sent to firms are transformed into outputs. Also, and how the payment for factors of production as well as payment for goods and services are undertaken. Now, the circular flow of income, therefore, is referred to as a model that describes the movement or flow of inputs or factors, output, and income as well as expenditure between the sectors or between the economic units in a society or an economy. Now, at the basic level, we said here we have a two-sector model of circular flow. We have here households, and here we have firms. The households will supply factors of production to the firms, like factors of production, to the firms. Factors of production include land, labor, capital, and so on. Okay. Now, the firms make use of the factors and produce goods and services. Also, when these are supplied, the firms pay through the factor market here, okay. This is let's do this again. one sector here, households, and the other sector, firms. Here there is a factor market, and here I have the product market. Now over here, the firms send factors into the product market, and that comes to this place from which it gets here, which is factors of production. Then here is production expenditure, and here becomes income on factors. Now, what are they paying for? They are paying rent, wages, interest, profit, dividend, as the case may be. Now, through the factor market, these things move down from the firms to the household. To the firms, it is a production expenditure, but to the household, it is income for factors of production supplied. Now, these things are transacted within the labor market. Now, over here, I have factors of production, which is land, labor, capital, which is owned by the household. The household owns factors of production, and now they set the factors of production into the labor market, from which the firms get them as production inputs. Now, these ones, the goods and services go to the product market from where the firms get them, that is goods and services. Now, these people spend consumption expenditure, and that goes to the firms as sales revenue or income. Sales revenue or income. Now, this is the payment or value of goods and services. Now, looking at this is a typical two-sector model of the circular flow of income. The product, and they are just intermediaries. Now, the two main sectors are the households and firms. The households or the individuals are the owners of factors of production. These factors of production are resources that can be supplied here. Then when they are supplied through the factor market, it becomes the production input. Now, the production input is paid for by the firms as production expenditure, then through the factor market in the form of wages, interest, and profits, and so on and so forth. And these things become income to the households as rewards for supplying factors of production to the firms. Then, when the inputs are used, they are used to produce goods and services, which are supplied through the product market to the household, while the household in turn pays in exchange for these goods and services as consumption expenditure. What they spend on consuming those goods and services become consumption expenditure. We go through this as value and gets to the firms as sales revenue or income on production. Now we see the kind of thing, the way the circular flow of income looks like. Now the basic circular flow of income is based on certain assumptions. The basic two-sector model, like we have it, is based on certain assumptions. Number one, assumptions of the circular flow. Assumptions of the circular flow. Number one is that all income is spent. That means there is no savings, there are no leakages or injections. All produced goods are consumed. Now, looking at these are the basic assumptions of the circular flow of income. Now, looking at this, we said that all income is spent, meaning that there's no, of course, that implies that there's no savings. Everything is spent on consumption, and all goods that are produced are what? Consumed. No excess, no deficit. And the other one is that there are no leakages or injections, and the last one is that there is no government participation. There is no government participation. Here says, the last one says there is no government participation in economic activities. Of course, definitely there's not going to be any such thing as taxes, and there will not be anything like government subsidies. Now, these are the things that are the basic assumptions of the circular flow. Now, the next point of call is we are going to look at and examine the factors that lead to changes. That means that to changes in the circular flow. That means things that could actually lead to expansion or contraction of the income level in the circular flow of income. But before then, we actually look at it's worthy to mention that there are other much more advanced models of the circular flow. There is the 3-sector and 4-sector model that involves the government and the external sector, that is the import and export. Then we have the government, the one that has the 3-sector, which has the government sector within it. But before then, you'll be seeing some questions on your screen in a moment. Take a look at them. I will be right back. Now, before the break, we talked about the circular flow of income, and we actually examined just the basic model of the circular flow of income. Now, what we'll be taking a look at is the factors that actually lead to the changes in the level of income in the circular flow. That is to say that we are going to be looking at the various factors that could make either income to increase or decrease, either inputs to increase or decrease, as the case may be. Now, that's the second factors that may lead to changes in the circular flow. Flow of income. Now, the first one is, you see, these factors are actually classified basically into two. Now, we have factors that are called leakages, that are classified as leakages. I have the ones that are classified as injections. Any variable or factor that leads to that it has the tendency of increasing the value of income in the circular flow is referred to as an injection.